At 3:03 a.m., my phone buzzed, not the usual cheerful chime for a text, but a low guttural vibration against my nightstand that felt wrong, like a warning. I squinted at the screen, the harsh light burning my tired eyes. No contact name, no number, just a notification for a new voice message. That was strange. Who sends a voice message at this ungodly hour? My thumb hovered over the play button, a weird sense of dread creeping up my spine. My apartment was dead silent, the kind of quiet that makes you hear the blood pumping in your own ears. The message played automatically, the speaker volume already up, and then I heard it. A voice. My voice. It was a frantic whisper, a ragged, desperate sound that made the hairs on my arms stand on end. If you're hearing this, my own voice pleaded from the phone, it means you waited too long, you have to leave now. The words were choked, as if spoken through sobs. Behind the whisper, there was another sound, a soft, wet, rhythmic sound, like something large breathing, slowly and deliberately, right behind the person speaking, right behind me. My heart hammered against my ribs. What kind of sick prank was this? A deep fake, some twisted app, but the panic in the voice felt too real, too raw. The message wasn't long, maybe 10 seconds, but it felt like an eternity. Just as the whispered warning ended, the breathing sound grew louder, closer, followed by a faint, wet click. Then, silence. The message was over. I sat bolt upright in bed, my own breathing now shallow and fast. My eyes darted around my dark bedroom, searching the familiar shadows for anything out of place. The closet door was shut. The window was locked. Nothing. I was just starting to convince myself it was a prank, a very elaborate and cruel one, when I heard it, a sound from outside my bedroom, a slow, deliberate creak. It was the sound of my bedroom door, a sound I knew intimately, the sound it makes when it's pushed open just a few inches. My blood ran cold. I live alone. I had locked that door before I went to bed. I always do. My phone was still clutched in my hand, a useless little brick of light in the oppressive darkness. I didn't dare make a sound. I just stared at the sliver of dark hallway now visible through the crack in the door, my mind screaming. The message hadn't been a warning for the future. It was a play-by-play of the present. I slowly, silently, slid out of the other side of the bed, my feet landing on the cold hardwood floor without a sound. Every instinct was screaming at me to run, to scream, but the whispered warning from my own voice echoed in my head. You waited too long. Was it already too late? The breathing sound from the message, I could almost hear it now, a faint wheezing echo in the hallway. Or was it just my own panicked breath, trapped in my throat? I had to get out. The window was my only chance. It led to a rusty fire escape 3 floors down, but it was better than whatever was waiting for me behind that door. Crouching low, I crept towards the window, my body trembling uncontrollably. I tried to remember if the fire escape was sturdy. I hadn't used it in years. My hand reached for the window latch, my fingers fumbling with the cold metal. As I began to lift the latch, a floorboard groaned behind me, near the door. I froze, my heart stopping completely. The slow, wet breathing was no longer an echo. It was in the room with me. It was heavy, labored, and it smelled of damp earth and something sweet, something rotten. I didn't dare turn around. I knew, with a certainty that defied all logic, that if I saw what was making that sound, I would die of fright. My fingers finally found their purchase, and I flicked the latch open. The sound was deafening in the silence. I didn't wait. I shoved the window up with all my might. It protested with a loud screech of old wood against its frame. I scrambled through the opening, my pajama pants catching on a splinter. Cold night air hit my face, a shocking contrast to the suffocating atmosphere of my room. I didn't look back. I couldn't. I threw myself onto the fire escape, my bare feet stinging as they hit the freezing grated metal. I glanced down. The streetlights below seemed a million miles away. From inside my apartment I heard a sound that will haunt me for the rest of my life. It was a guttural, drawn-out sigh of disappointment. It wasn't human. It was deep, resonant, and filled with an ancient, predatory hunger. Then, I saw a shadow move in my now empty bedroom. A shape detached itself from the darkness near the doorway. It was tall, impossibly thin, its limbs moving with a jerky, unnatural motion. It didn't have a face, just a smooth, pale expanse of skin where features should have been. It turned its blank head towards the window, towards me. I didn't need another invitation. I half ran, half fell down the rusty metal stairs of the fire escape, the structure groaning and swaying under my weight. My ankle twisted, sending a sharp pain up my leg, but I didn't stop. Adrenaline was the only thing keeping me going. I could still feel its gaze on my back, a cold, heavy pressure. I didn't know what it was or why it was in my apartment, but the voice message was clear. It was me, from seconds in the future, giving myself the only chance I had. That panicked whisper was the sound of my own death, a death I had just barely managed to escape. I finally hit the bottom, tumbling into a pile of overflowing trash bags in the alley. The smell was awful, but I've never been so happy to smell garbage in my life. I scrambled to my feet and ran. I ran without looking back, my bare feet slapping against the gritty pavement. I ran until my lungs burned and my legs gave out. I didn't stop until the sun started to rise, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink. I never went back to that apartment. I left everything behind, my clothes, my photos, my entire life. I couldn't. Sometimes, late at night, when it's too quiet, I can still hear it, that slow, wet breathing. And sometimes, I check my phone, terrified I'll see a new message from an unknown number. I don't know what that thing was, but I know it's still looking for me, and I know it's patient. Thank you for listening. If you ever find yourself in a situation that feels wrong, trust your gut. It might just save your life. Don't forget to subscribe for more stories. Stay safe out there.